Hi everyone. So the first book I chose for this assignment is Jamberry by Bruce Deegan. I chose this as my rhyming book for the assignment. Um, it's a fun story about a boy and a bear looking for berries. They look for strawberries. They pick blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries. There are great illustrations all throughout the book. I think this is just a great book for a kindergarten, first grade level kid who's just getting introduced to maybe reading some words and talking about rhyming, things like that. So you're trying to develop that phonological awareness with the rhymes, and I think can help with fluency. I think a lot of the words are um, made up a little bit, so that makes it fun for kids. But for example, one of the pages is hatberry, shoeberry, in my canoeberry. All right, so obviously those words aren't real words in the common language, but I think that's great for kids to start creating that imagination, start coming up with other things that could rhyme with berry. Okay, and yeah, that's the first book. Second book, Are You My Mother by P.D. Eastman. Okay, now this is a classic book. Okay, that's the reason why I chose it. I mean, it's a book that I think most of us have probably read as a child, and I plan on my children reading it as well. I actually chose this as my high frequency word book. Um, Obviously there are a ton of high frequency words in this book, like are, you, and my. And there are many, many others in this book. So I think I would use this as I would utilize a word wall for this book. So I think my idea would be to kind of give the kids a list of all of the high frequency sight words they are going to see in this book. All right, and then I would present them with the list. We would talk about the words, we would say the words, chant the words, spell the words. Okay, and then as I was reading aloud the words to the book, I would say, first time I read this through, listen for any of the words that are on our list. Okay, any words that could potentially be on our word wall. A second time, I may have the students stop me when they hear those words. Okay, third time, maybe I'll have the students read the book to themselves and write down how many times or mark every time they see these sight words. And then lastly, I would have, some cardboard and everything made up and just these words already printed off, and these kids would simply, put the words on the cardboard paper, and I would put them on a designated wall and use that for our word wall. Yeah, I think this book is great for obviously the high frequency words. It is great for fluency, okay, because it's an easier book. There aren't too many words per page, and they're very short they're very short sentences. Obviously, you can see there are great illustrations. Okay, and yeah, so that's my second book. Are You My Mother? Third book, Little Blue Truck's Halloween. Okay. So I chose this as my predictable book. Okay. So there are, it is a flap book. Okay. So you lift the flap, discover which animal is in the Halloween costume. Okay. So it is very repetitive. Okay. So on every other page, right before you're about to find, which animal is in that costume. All right. So it's under the mask. Who do you see? All right. And then it says the name of the animal. They give their animal sound and they say, "It's me, it's me." Okay? So this again, I think this book would be great for the babies, toddlers, preschool, maybe. Okay, again, there are great pictures, great illustrations. I think this would be a great book to read around Halloween time, obviously, because this is what they're talking about. Obviously, kids love seeing animals, in stories and having fun that way. I think this book can help with the print concept standards for kindergarten. So like I said, I think this is more for babies and toddlers, okay? But I think this is a great example of learning to read from left to right, top to bottom, page to page. Okay, I think all of the books that we have are going to work on those print concepts, but especially this one, especially because it is for I think it's for the younger audience. I think that's what you're really trying to focus on with this story. Okay, and that's Little Blue Truck's Halloween, and that is written by Alice Schertle and illustrated by Jill McElmurray. My last book are actually books. Okay? So my alphabet book. Okay? So I actually have a series of these, my first steps to reading. Okay, so each individual letter has its own individual book. Okay, and the way each book is set up, the character's name is the letter. Okay, so this one is the letter C. Okay, so it says little c has a box. So each letter has a box. They find all different objects that go with their letter, and they put them in the box, or that's how the book starts off with. Okay, so little c found caps. She put on one cap. She put on the other caps and put it in her box. Little c found a caterpillar. It made a cocoon. So all of those words that have the same starting sounds as whatever letter it is, consonant, vowel, whatever it is, that is what you're going to find throughout the book. Again, another book with a lot of great illustrations and good words for kids to learn. Okay, so then more towards the end, it kind of has a collection of the books that we talked about throughout the book so far. So you have cage and canary, cow, calf, candy, all words that have that k sound for the letter C. All right, and then what's interesting actually about this book, which is why I chose the letter C for this short presentation, is that at the end of the book, all right, it mentions the different sound. Okay, so it says in this story, little c has the sound of the letter K. All right, little c has another sound, the sound of the letter S. Read these little c words. Okay, then it has circle, centipede, cigar, scent, celery, circus, cereal, city. Okay, so this was a great book. So I really liked how this book broke down the two sounds. Okay, so they also do this for, so this is actually the only consonant that they break down the sounds for. Okay, I looked through books like G and S, and they only went through the first, or the original sound, I should say, for those consonants. Okay, when it gets to the vowels, okay, the version that I have, only E and O do they talk about every book talks about the short vowel sound. So for O, it's going to for A, E, I, O, and U, all of the vowel sounds they're going to primarily talk about the short vowel sounds. For what makes O and E interesting is that they actually at the end they talk about the long vowel sounds. So last page, okay. Little O has another sound in some words. He says his name. Listen for little O's name. And you have overalls and okra, ocean, oatmeal, and opal. Okay. All throughout the books, you're looking for words like ox, otter, ostrich, things like that. So you can tell the difference in the sound. So the version that I have an older version of these books, so I do believe that now, every single vowel sound, at least, the newer updated versions of these books, the vowel sounds actually do have the long vowel sound in every single book from my research that I did. Okay, so I think these are great books to put inside of a classroom. You could have a letter of the day. You could read the book. You can go through. I mean, not all of the books have a lot of words that go with the letter, but that's an activity you can do with your students. You can say, what other words start with A? What other words start with B that aren't in the book? And I think those are great activities. And so thanks for listening.